A reboot is on the way for the group Our Republican Legacy. It's happening at the National Press Club. That'll be happening Thursday as we speak on this Wednesday. The former Washington State Republican Party Chair, Chris Vance, is a senior advisor to ORL. He's got an op-ed in the Seattle Times calling for a reboot, a rallying cry for a post-MAGA future from a Republican in exile. What's that about? Well, Chris Vance is with us, former Watergate chairman of the Washington State Republican Party. Sorry for that little slip there. You'll find him at Chris Vance 123. Chris Vance, welcome. Thanks for being on the show today.
Good morning, Tim. One little correction. Our national committee meeting happened last Thursday at the National Press Club.
Oh, it was last Thursday. I'm sorry.
Yep. And it was a huge success. But I'm thrilled to be here this morning, despite the fact that it's 5:15 where I live right now. So,
well, that's the kind of hours that I keep anyway. So, there you go. I don't you get no sympathy from me. I do appreciate you being here, because this is not really necessarily, there may be some philosophy, but it strikes me that one of the things that you're trying to do is reshape the state Republican organizations which have gone by the wayside. And by the way, this is something that happened with Democrats. I think you saw that happen in 2024 as well. But speak to the issue of the state of the party, if you will, and what Our Republican Legacy is about.
Yeah, so Our Republican Legacy is not brand new. Senator John Danforth, Senator William Cohen, the late Alan Simpson, and 34 other very notable Republican figures, including two former vice presidents, formed the organization last year as a messaging organization to, as they put it, be the resistance to MAGA and Trump populism that has taken over the party. And they did a lot of good messaging during the summer of last year, but they formed it in the middle of the presidential campaign. So we now, a number of us have come on board to pump up the volume a bit in two ways: more messaging more often, and as you said, we're building a 50-state volunteer national committee. We have 16 state chairmen already, and I work on recruiting more every day. And we're basically building a shadow version of the Republican Party, a Republican Party in exile, to fight within the party. We're Republicans who refuse to leave, to return the party to traditional core conservative values. And the movement's growing.
What are those conservative values that you call core values for the party?
Oh, that's a good question. And everybody should go to ourrepublicanlegacy.com. Senator Danforth was very purposeful when he created this. There are 5 very specific policies that we think are the unifying broad themes that unite Republicans traditionally, and they are fiscal conservatism, free enterprise, the Constitution and the rule of law, peace through strength, and the union itself. We've always been the party of the union, trying to hold this country together despite all of our many differences.
So what are your concerns for the most part about, I can just see one leaping to my mind immediately, is isolationism would be a concern, and especially with reference to the war between Ukraine and Russia and the current administration's stance and posture relative to that conflict. But are there other areas that you're most concerned about?
Oh, many. I mean, I believe that the Trump administration and the MAGA movement has violated all of these principles. I mean, they're right now working on a bill that is neither big nor beautiful, which is going to massively drive up our debt and our deficit. As you said, the isolationist nature of the foreign policy, which is a clear path to World War III. When America abandons its responsibilities, very bad things happen. Protectionism. I mean, Ronald Reagan must be just spinning in his grave at the abandonment of free trade by Republicans. The rule of law is routinely violated and ignored. So on basically all these principles, this is what I try and tell people. This is not the Republican Party. This is something different. And this is not traditional conservatism. And it doesn't work, and it's wrong, and we need to fight to bring this party back.
Again, we are speaking with Chris Vance, our Republican Legacy Senior Advisor. The reboot is underway, if you will. They're trying to rescue a party in exile. It seems to me that the quote-unquote never-Trumpers and you have something in common, but they certainly have had their day to be heard, but I haven't really seen much as a result of it. What makes you think that things can change?
Yeah, and, I am an OG never-Trumper. There have been many, many groups formed since 2016. I've been part of virtually all of them. And you're right. We lost. Donald Trump won in the Republican nomination in 2016, 2020, and 2024. That does not mean that his ideas are valid or that they work or that they're good for America. We're not going to abandon that fight. But, Tim, what makes this different is Donald Trump will soon not be the all-powerful, unchallenged leader of the Republican Party. He cannot run again in 2028, no matter what he says. And there's going to be a wide open battle for the soul of the Republican Party and the soul of the conservative movement. And Trump leaving the field, as he must, will change everything. I am not saying that we're going to just waltz in and retake the party, but I'm saying for the first time since 2016, we have a fighting chance, and we're going to fight.
What's the message, though? Because, obviously you'd have to fight Democrats as well. And at this particular point, Democrats are not in great favor. But, how would you fight against what Democrats stand for?
Because they also routinely and have always violated the 5 principles that we believe in, hence the difference between the two parties. I mean, the Democrats are not serious at all about bringing down the debt or the deficit. They've traditionally not been as strong on defense as Republicans. They also have not been for free trade. President Biden left in place many of Trump's tariffs. So there is no conservative party in this country right now. And traditional conservatism, Reagan, Bush, Romney, McCain conservatism actually works. And for people adopted this mantra that, it didn't work and the zombie Republican Party didn't work. But take a look now at what's happening. And I think there will be a real hunger for basic common sense conservatism again. And we are certainly going to fight to see if we're right about that.
We are going to see, and as we will figure out what's going to happen, as I've noted many times at the beginning of the show, we are now 1,325 days away from the inauguration of POTUS number 48, and we will see how things turn out between now and then.
That's exactly right. You should start to a countdown on how many days is it before the Iowa and New Hampshire primaries, and then work back from there, because pretty soon you're going to have 6, 8, 10, God knows how many Republicans running for president. And that's all. It's going to change everything.
God bless them all. I hope we get it like we had a couple of years ago. We had 27 of them or something like that. It was crazy. Chris
Yep.
Vance, thanks so much for joining us today.
You bet. Thank you.
Chris Vance, our Republican Legacy Senior Advisor, and you will find him at Chris Vance 123. David Swerdlick's going to join us in a moment. Staff